Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast in Australia. So wherever you are in this amazing globe of ours, I hope you're having an absolutely awesome day. It's early in the morning here. It's only 8 a.m. here in Australia, but it's an absolutely cracking day, even though we've got the rain gently falling down and it's supposedly summer, but it's overcast and raining. And let me say that that's a welcome relief for us here in Australia. For those of you that might have been following the news, here in Queensland where I live, we've been in massive bushfires, so we're really pleased to see the rain, falling a bit further up in the state to sort of put these fires out and so that people can start to get some normality back into their lives. So wherever you are in this amazing globe of ours, I hope you've had an absolutely fantastic week, because it is the busy season of the year where we all start to become sort of very frantic and everybody's sort of getting tired and cranky and so many things to do. But to add insult to injury, and I'm going to start the show off with this week, is we've still got Mercury going retrograde. Now, Mercury's the planet of communication. He's going to be turning retrograde still till about the 10th of December, so we've still got a few days up our sleeves yet where people don't have their listening ears on. And it's really quite frustrating when you've got something important to say and you only have a limited space of time and you want to get it out clear and concise and hope the other person understands and responds in the way that they should, and then they don't listen or they argue the point with you because they haven't fully listened to what you've had to say. Then you've got to take the time to rephrase it and reword it again and hope they've listened this time. And sometimes it takes quite a few attempts before the simplest of messages get through. So can I suggest to everybody, please be patient. Have your patience with you this week. Make sure that the other person's heard the conversation if it is important and it's relevant information that they need to know, and just double check and have a smile on your face and say, look, that's okay. I appreciate you might be busy and got a lot on your mind, and that will just make life a little tad bit easier, I think, if we can all do that as we head into this holiday festive season around the world. So this week, the Simply Tarot card of the week is the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knights are cards that people always stumble upon when they're learning the tarot for the very, very first time, because they say to me, well, Amanda, what are all these people doing in my cards? I don't know many people. Well, we do all know a lot of people, and we all do deal with a lot of people during the course of our day, but not all of them do we take notice of what their hair and eye colouring might be, or even their age group. We sort of unconsciously acknowledge that they're a male or a female by their voice if we're dealing with them over the phone or dealing with them via, social media or modern forms of communication this day and age. So we do have contact usually on a day-to-day basis with a lot of people that we don't really register that we're dealing with people. So the Knights are actually young males, not young females. These are young males up to the age of 25. Now, this can be a young male up to the age of 25 with blue eyes, blonde to brown hair. It's not somebody that's dark. This is somebody that's pale in colouring, light eyes, light hair, and usually a sort of an easygoing sort of personality, but not always the case. Remember, what we're giving you here is guidelines. We're not saying this is set in concrete or it's fixed and it's the only way you can look at this card. The secondary meaning to this card is needing to have more confidence in yourself. So if this card was coming out in a reading, and you could say to me, Amanda, I really don't know a young man that fits that description, and I'm not intending to have any communications with a young man, then look at the secondary meaning of the card of needing to have more confidence in yourself. Maybe that's what the card is trying to share with you here. But can I just give you a little heads up? Our children will always be our children and will always come out as knights and pages, even when they're 75 and we're still going, kicking, live and kicking. They still, in our opinion, or in our way of looking at things, still come out as a knight and a page. They always still come out as a young person. So that's my psychic tip for today. Okay, so moving the show right along, we've got a really, really busy week this week astrologically. We've already touched on Mercury retrograde, so I can't emphasise enough to have your listening ears on, take your patience with you when you go out, and really try and bring some joy and some light into people's lives in this very busy time of the year. And there's lots of people that we're not so aware of that may have had a loss in the last 12 months, or it may be an anniversary of a loss, or they're just feeling a little bit down and lonely, knowing that they're going into this holiday season again without their loved ones. And this is why it's particularly important, I think, that we put our smile on and carry our patience in our bag or in our our purse or whatever the case may be, and show a little kindness to everybody. So this week I want to talk about my favourite planet in all of the universe, and that's Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck, opportunity, expansion. It's just moved back into Sagittarius, and for those of you that watch the show regularly, you'll know I'm a Sag, and I love this time of the year. Christmas is my absolute favourite time of the year. It always has been since as long as I can remember, and I haven't changed as I got older. I just adore Christmas. And I think it's because of the positive energy, the newness, the feeling of excitement in the air, the wonderment in the children's eyes and things like this that sort of says to us there's better days ahead. No matter what you've been through, what you're going through, how you're feeling, how your health is, there's an excitement in the air that says there's hope. And I feel this is the reasons why I love Christmas so much, and one of the reasons why I'm so proud to be a Sag, because I'm usually very optimistic. So when we get this fortunate opportunity of our ruling planet to go back into Sagittarius, which only happens once every 12 years, I might add, I really do get excited and do the happy dance, because not only do I know that there's new opportunities and things could unfold in my life and for every fellow Sagittarian if you really look around hard enough and make your opportunities happen, but I also know for the other 11 signs, it's like, oh, good, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Things will get easier. I will start to see things in a more positive direction than what I've seen, where it's just come out of Scorpio, where it's sort of very looking under the covers sort of stuff, where we felt our energies have been at an all-time low. We felt the weight of the world on our shoulders, and there's been a lot of soul searching and digging up and dealing with old emotions and trying to sort things out and trying to, renegotiate deals and sort of arbitrate family arguments and things like that. And it's like, oh, thank goodness I've been let out of jail now. I can feel that there's some positivity in the air. So no matter what your sign is, please don't waste this opportunity. Jupiter's gone into Sagittarius, will be there till the end of December 2019. So it's actually got a 13-month transit this time, which is exciting. 1 month extra, we'll take that. Thank you very much. And make sure that we use this time to try and open doors for ourselves. Luck is something that I believe we create ourselves. I don't think anybody gets luck by sitting on the couch saying, oh, woe is me, I wish, I wish, I wish. The only way we get our wishes granted is get up off the couch and take some positive steps towards making it happen. And I've always been a fairly driven person. If something isn't going right in my life, I sit down, I analyse it, I look at it, and I try and look at what I'm responsible for and how can I best change it. There's no point in placing blame at someone else's feet for something that I'm responsible for. And I think that's the message we should all take into this festive season, is look at what you're responsible for and what can you do to change something in your world. Even if it's only one thing, is there one little thing that you can change in your world that will have a ripple effect that will take you into a more positive time frame and a more positive outlook for 2019. This week I'm going to feature a really important person that I think has made history in the acting world in a way that probably has been seen to be sort of gentle but very definite at the same time. We've been working our way through the zodiac and we've been looking at famous actors and actresses. This week we're up to the sign of Gemini and we're up to looking for a male actor. And when I started to do my research at who I would feature this week on the show, I was really pleased to see the name Morgan Freeman come up. Morgan Freeman is one of those outstanding perennial sort of actors. It's sort of, you could give him any role, I think, and he'd do brilliantly in it. He sort of comes to every role with such decorum, with such insight and a sort of a gentleness but a firmness at the same time. He delivers his lines in such a believable sort of way that you almost feel that you're there with him, that he's holding your hand. And it's interesting to see that, he wouldn't have had an easy start in life being an African American. I mean, they certainly didn't get the lucky breaks in life like white people do, and it's the same no matter which continent you are in the world. Any of our Indigenous brothers and sisters always had a harder road to hoe than us privileged white folk. So for him to be able to achieve what he's done in his lifetime and to be able to get behind some amazing causes and sort of bring about some very diverse sort of subjects. I know I've watched documentaries where he's been looking into religions and all different belief systems and delivered that in such such a way that it wasn't his personal take on it. It was like, well, okay, let's have a look at this together. You know, like, so let's sit down and discuss it and have a look at the pros and cons. And I found that series particularly enjoyable on cable TV. But he started his career when he was 9 years of age. He's done everything from movies to Broadway. I mean, there's so many movies, so many awards, so many voiceovers to movies that he's done. I mean, there isn't a thing that I think this man's left unturned. But I'd like to sort of leave you with a couple of his most memorable movies, and I think just about everybody on the planet's seen both of these. And the first one is where I first, I think, really became so fond of Morgan Freeman because of his role in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. And I just loved that movie. I think I went and saw it at the movies 2 or 3 times because I just couldn't get enough of the energy that came out of that movie. And one of the other big-time movies that he was in was Driving Miss Daisy, where he actually played the role of the chauffeur in that. And, I mean, he did, again, an amazing job. And it doesn't matter what Morgan turns his hand to, he does an amazing job. So we wish him well, and we hope he has still a very, very long and lengthy career ahead of him. So this week we're featuring on the astrological front, we're looking at where the moon is this week, and we've got the new moon in Sagittarius. So what does this mean for all of us? Well, the new moon in Sag, we always have the new moon in the star sign that the sun is in, so it makes sense that the new moon's in Sag. So that will be the 7th of December, wherever you are in the world. So if you start looking at working on this new moon energy from the 5th and take it through to the 12th. So I'm saying the 5th because I like to look at 2 days before the new moon, 3 days of the new moon, and then 2 days after the new moon. So the new moon is about attracting new things in our life. Now, I always believe no matter which moon cycle that we're working with, I still believe we've got to do some releasing. And I use this analogy. If you've got a closet or a wardrobe full of clothes and you can't fit anything else in there, and you go out and you buy 3 more outfits, what are you going to do with them? Hang them up on the floor? Or are you going to remove 3 objects out of your wardrobe or your closet to hang up the new 3 garments? Well, it's exactly the same thing in life. If you're hoping to attract 3 new opportunities or situations into your life, we need to release 3 opportunities. So what I want you to do is get your piece of paper. I like to work in 3s. It can be more than that if you want, but I think 3 is a nice all-round number that you can usually think of 3 things that you might want to release and 3 things that you might want to attract in your life. And they don't all have to be situations that we're going to achieve in the next 2 weeks or the next month. We could have a short-term one, a mid-term one, and a longer-term goal. So, and these goals can be sort of worked with on other moon cycles as well. They don't have to just be for this particular moon, but it could be something that you're hoping to attract to you in this coming few weeks. And so it's about looking at what is new, what is brand new, what can we bring to us. So we write it out on a piece of paper. We get our fire sign candle because we're working with the Sagittarian energy. We would actually read out aloud what we're going to be sort of wanting to release and attract towards us with the new moon. I want you to pop your candle on a coaster. Never put your candle directly on the furniture because the glass containers do get very hot. The soy wax itself isn't hot, but the glass container can get hot, and I wouldn't like you to scorch your furniture. So these candles you can see have a dual wick. So I like one wick one day and the other wick the next day, so that just gives you a longer burn time. And that's really important to sort of save our dollars and cents where we can, saving our pennies for other purchases that we might want to make. And then I also do the same thing, write an identical list for my new moon candle. Now, the new moon candle, again, same principle, dual wick systems, so lighting one side one day and one side the next day. These are probably 2 of my most favourite candles, the new moon and the fire sign candle. The new moon's French vanilla, and the fire sign candle is actually strawberries and champagne. It's actually a gorgeous candle to burn at any time, never mind the Sagittarian time of the year. So that's how we would work with that. So if you haven't got that much room that you want to burn 2 extra large candles, can I suggest our little travel pack This week I've made it up of 2 fire sign candles and a new moon candle. You can choose any candles that you like. There's 27 in our range. You can make up your gift box set of any 3 candle combination that you actually like. We do offer free postage here in Australia, but for our overseas family, we can only offer a flat fee of postage. So it doesn't matter how much you order it at amandahallpsychic.com.au, you will get one flat fee for postage for any amount of product that you wish to buy from our store. So for those of you that say to me, well, that's all great, Amanda, but I don't have time or don't really wish to work with a candle or a flame, can I suggest to you that you can pick up a milk warmer? You can pick these up at a variety store, a supermarket, chain store, things like that. Here in Australia, approximately $15. This is electric. When I'm starting with a new fragrance, I actually take 2 teaspoons full of the wax out of my candle. So in this case, I would take a teaspoon of the fire sign, I would take a teaspoon of the new moon, and then I add half a teaspoon per day. Now, the soy wax sits in the little dish on the top. The dish is removable. You can take that out, pop it into the freezer for a minute or 2, and that sets the wax so that it's easily removed. You can wash your little tray up and start again with your new wax for next week. So that's my suggestions with those, working with the same principle, putting your message underneath of what you want to release and what you want to attract into your life using your milk warmer. So let's move the show along. I'm sure we haven't got any. Oh, we're in Canada, yes. Terry in Brookville in Ontario, Canada. Are you there, Terry?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how can I help you tonight, Terry?
I just was wondering if you have any messages from me from the other side. I have a couple sisters that I miss a lot.
Okay. Terry, in such a short space of time, I can't guarantee that we can connect through to the other side. What I'd like you to do is give me a question, and if they want to come through and interrupt, they will, with something that's relevant to your life now that you need answering. Do you have a question I can work with? Do you have a question of something that needs answering in your life, Terry?
I've been having some health issues. Do you think everything's going to work out that way?
Some what issues, sweetie? Did you say work issues, Terry? Okay, look, I'm not sure whether Terry can hear me or not, but we'll continue on anyway. Look, Terry, the first thing that I'm picking up around you is I feel that there's going to be some massive changes, endings and transformations. I feel since September you've been feeling as if you're in sort of like a holding pattern. Things haven't sort of necessarily gone quite the way that you would like them to go, but I feel things are starting to clear now, and this is good. I don't feel uncomfortable with what I'm seeing around you. What I'm sort of feeling is that you still seem to feel this very innate feeling of loneliness, and I don't know that that necessarily means that you are on your own and you're not in a relationship. What I feel by that is that I feel that, you know, the last few months particularly, the people that have passed over, you're really feeling as if you're really missing them more than what you have done in, you know, since the time that they've passed over. There's one in particular that's coming through to me, and it's a female sort of energy. I'm going to say to you, she's sort of saying to me, it's time now to stop the sadness. Now, whoever or whatever relationship this older female was to you, she's telling me now it's time to put your sad hat away and it's time to get your party hat back out. She wants to see you start to take the reins to your life again and start to bring a smile to your face again. By the time we get to March in 2019, Terry, I feel that there will be some question marks around the type of job that you're doing, whether or not you're going to stay in that job or whether you're going to make a change. Now, if you say to me, look, I'm not working, Amanda, to me it still comes out the way of change of finances, change of income. I always relate that to work because that's usually how we gain money. There's changes coming up in March around that. I'm also sort of feeling there's a question mark around whether or not you're going to stay where you're living next year as well, but that's sort of not coming to the forefront much before about June, July, and it's sort of like, will I, won't I, should I, shan't I? And I'm going to say again, there's no hurry. Just, when the decision feels right, that's when you should sort of make the change and not before. Don't be in a hurry to sort of try and push things along just because you think, I should be doing something. I haven't done or made a major decision for a long time. Maybe I should do something about that. There is no hurry. I do feel that you need to take a little bit better care of your physical health. I think you've been neglecting yourself recently, and it's time now to make sure that you're getting enough nutrition. It's sort of like what they're showing me is that you're not planning meal times well enough. You're sort of just, that'll do, and it won't do because your physical health is starting to suffer from that. So I hope that I've been able to help you, Terry, in Ontario, and have a very happy Christmas. Okay, we're going to take our next caller, who is Mo in Sydney in New South Wales. Are you there, Mo?
Yes, hi, good morning. How are you doing?
Good. Very well, thank you. How can I help you? Do you have a question for me, Mo?
So I was basically what happened is someone messaged me through Facebook and asking me to leave my name and number in regards to getting in contact with you. So just a question about my career life, which I'm a bit, because, like, to be honest, I lost my job last Friday, and I'm just wanting to know how my career life is going to be looking like. Now.
Okay, Mo, look, I'm really sorry that you lost your job last Friday. I mean, I'm sure that must have been a very stressful sort of time in your life, and sort of now heading towards the end of the year, very, very questioning about what's next and how do I go about this. The first thing I want to say to you, Mo, is even though this seemed like a setback in your life, in a few months' time, you're going to look back at this time and say, gee, I'm pleased that happened because it catapulted me over here. It got me in a different direction that I wouldn't have necessarily taken had that decision not been forced upon me. So first things first, I don't think you're going to be very long without a job. I certainly don't think you're going to need to wait till next year. I think you really need to sort of get back on the horse now, really get some resumes out there, start looking at what you can apply for, what you're capable of doing, and let's get things moving again. And I'd even sort of step outside the box a little bit. Go for things that you have, say 50 or 60% of the qualifications for, but you mightn't have the last bit. I'd throw a resume in there too, because I think it's going to be one of these ones that you think, I haven't got much hope of even getting an interview. Why am I wasting my time? But you will do it anyway. And I think that will surprise you because this is going to open up, in a sense, a broader field of employment for you and new opportunities, as I said, that you wouldn't have taken before. Was this a complete shock with this job loss? Because to me, it was sort of like the axe fell and you had no warning it was coming.
There was no warning, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I appreciate it's still a shock, but I want to see you sort of try and twist this around to your advantage now and let's get going again. What's your star sign, Mo? What month, what day and what month of the year are you born? But Mo, I don't need to know the year. What's your star sign? We lost it. Okay, so we'll continue on. We've lost Mo for the moment. Mo, the reasons why I was asking your star sign is because I felt that planetary-wise there was a lot going on in your chart, and I feel that there's lots of new opportunities coming up for you. And I want to see you just really put your best foot forward, because I know that there's a new job out there. I'm also picking up some changes for you around April, May, where I feel that there's going to be another major turning point or another major decision to be made then. Okay. Mo, are you with us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hello? So what's your star sign, Mo?
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that, sorry.
Your star sign.
Sorry, the voice was not too clear, sorry.
Your star sign. Can you share with me your day and month of your birth?
Taurus.
Yeah, you're a Taurus. Okay, good. All right, that makes a lot of sense. what I was picking up psychically was that there's a lot of sudden things to be happening in your life. There's opportunities that are going to come for you. And if you're a Taurus, as you are, there's going to be things that are going to happen very suddenly out of nowhere, like hence, you lost your job last week. But also, this is freeing things up for much better opportunities to come into your life, because we've got to break down the old barriers to allow new things to come in. But going back to what I was saying, between around April and May in 2019, again, there's going to be another shift of energy. There's going to be another sudden opportunity that's going to come towards you that's going to need you to require some very sort of fast thinking or some fast action. I'm not going to say it's totally job related. I think it is partly job related, but I also think it's an opportunity then to sort of say, well, yes, this is where I really want to go. If it's connected to the job, it could very well be, even though you've taken the new job, there's an offer of something else connected with the same company, which may involve a move. Now, it might not necessarily mean leaving the city that you're in, but it may just be, if you live on the south side, you're going to be working on the north side. So is it conducive to sort of do all that travel, or do I pick up and move? So it's sort of like some massive changes there. But everything, I think, is looking very, very positive for here on in for you, Mo. So just keep hanging in there and apply for a job, and I know you'll have a job before you know it.
Sorry,
anyway, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everybody for watching with us here on A1R Psychic Radio in our brand new time slot of in the afternoon out of the USA. And it's absolutely fantastic because it's opening it up that we can talk to many more people around the world. On next week's show, we'll have the Simply Tarot card of the week, our candle of the week. We'll also have our trip around the universe as we do each week astrologically. So I hope that each and every one of you have an absolutely fantastic week, because it is the time of the year, of the season to give, and it's the time to be positive and to really look forward to what the new year is going to bring for each and every one of us, which is really, really good. And let me just share a little personal thing with you. I had the good fortune of actually going to see John Edward for the second time this year, and it was absolutely fantastic. And can I say, it was really interesting to watch people in the audience that didn't have their listening ears on with Mercury retrograde. They came with a preconceived idea of who or what they wanted to, who they wanted to speak to and what was going to come through. And when it didn't happen that way, they sort of no. So just be aware of Mercury, if I can leave that thought with you, because we really do need our listening ears on and our bag of patience as we head towards this very busy festive time of the year. And for all those fellow Sagittarians, happy birthday, everybody. It's your time to shine. And we shall do it all again next week in 7 days. Bye for now.